Before turning to the Bible, let's begin with a quote from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's fictitious detective Sherlock Holmes. Quote, "It is a capital mistake to theorize before one has data. Insensibly one begins to twist facts to suit theories instead of theories to suit facts." Unquote. Well, in support of the legendary detective, let me remind you of a verse that all of us have memorized. Philippians 4:8 says, "Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, think on these things." We may want to force all our thoughts about the way things are into two categories: that which is true and that which is false. Okay, we get it. Don't meditate on the false stuff. Once you know the truth about a lie, dismiss it for what it is. Even if someone keeps repeating a lie, keep dismissing it until you're done with it, just as persistently as they repeat it. That's one way to think about true. But there's a third category that needs a little attention, a category other than true and false. The third category is the I don't know category. Maybe true and maybe false. Is maybe true true? Not yet. Maybe true, maybe false. Then the maybe true is often false. Notice the verse doesn't tell us to think about what might be true, and it doesn't tell us to think about what is probably true. It tells us to think about what we know to be true. Let me put it another way. We should not think long and hard about suspicions. Dismiss guesses. If we make a habit of dismissing suspicions and guesses, it will make us Christians very different than our fellow human beings in this world. It'll make us a lot more like Sherlock Holmes and the Apostle Paul. Let's use the life of Miriam as a case study. There are more questions about Miriam than there are answers. For instance, precisely what was her problem with Moses' so-called Cushite wife mentioned in Numbers chapter 12? According to my research, we're not even sure who the Cushite wife is or what the word Cushite refers to. Some think the wife in question is Zipporah, the woman we know Moses married in Midian. Regions of Midian are indeed associated with a place named Cush. There's also some support for the idea that the word Cush means nothing more than beautiful and probably refers to beautiful Zipporah. But there's another theory, that Zipporah had died, and Moses, rather late in life, married a second wife from Ethiopia. There's even another tradition that we see, for instance, in the movie The Ten Commandments. It asserts that Moses married an Ethiopian woman when he was a prince in Egypt, sometime between the age of 20 and 40, before he fled to Midian to start his new life as a shepherd. All plausible stories. You may prefer one theory over another. You can judge one of these explanations to be more probable and another to be less probable. But my point tonight is that you should not lock on to suspicions and suppositions in your study of either Miriam specifically or the Word of God generally. You may think yourself a very clever detective for being able to put together a case for this theory or that one. But I will remind you, think about the true. If you lock onto a guess, you may very well waste a lot of time thinking about what proves in the end to be false. At home fellowships, you can consider many theories that explain the person Miriam, Moses' big sister. But avoid locking on to mere suspicions. Instead, think about what is true.